Hey there, Casey Dim at TaxSaleAcademy.com, and welcome to this week's episode of the Tax Sale Podcast. Today I want to talk about something that is one of the biggest challenges that a lot of investors face, both new investors and even veteran investors. That is, how do you go from a once-a-year type deal to consistent, reliable, month-after-month income as a tax sale investor? You know, I see it all the time. Somebody makes $8,000 or $20,000 on one deal. They're super excited. They're all fired up. They're ready to go full-time. And then nothing happens for like the next 10 or 11 months. So what's the problem? Well, it's not the business. It's how they have themselves set up most of the time. If you want consistency, you need to have structure. You need systems. And you need the right mindset. So today, let me walk you through the real path to sustainable income in the tax sale world. And this is taught from somebody who has been in this business full-time since they were age 18 years old. This is from watching hundreds and hundreds of students transition into full-time tax sale careers through the Tax Sale Academy. So this is all based off of experience. This is not just hypothetical stuff. This is what actually works. The first thing you must do is you must treat this business like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. If you want consistent income, start with a consistent approach. That means you need to set up your business properly, whether it's an LLC or whatever it is. Make sure you set up the LLC. Make sure you have proper bank accounts for this business. Make sure you do proper bookkeeping. Treat these things like they matter, because they do. Then you must learn how to do things right the first time. Invest in education first before anything else in this business. Before you start going out and buying properties, invest in education, invest in yourself, and then build out your process. Create your checklist, track your results, learn what works, learn what doesn't work. You know, people who play around in this business, they will see results sometimes, but those results will come, they'll go very, very quickly. And if that is your intention, maybe you just want to make $5,000 and that's it. Pay off your visa or buy your boat or whatever you want to do. Maybe you just want to make a chunk of money and you don't have any intention of doing this full time. And that's okay. But if you want to do this full time, you need to treat it like a business. You must run it like a business if you want long-term sustainable income. The next one is to actively stay involved. This is not one of those set it and forget it type models. This is not where you park your money in a savings account and you go back and you check it in 20 years and you made a few bucks. You don't just dabble, make a ton of money, and then disappear. If you want consistent profits, you need to regularly be attending auctions. You need to regularly be reviewing upcoming tax sales. You need to be running comps, studying the market, watching for OTC lists to be updated. You need to research every single week. You must stay active. You know, the best opportunities don't go to the casual investor who just stumbles on them. They go to the ones who are always in the game. These opportunities don't just fall in your lap. You must actively seek them out. Some of my most profitable deals happen because I was in the right place at the right time as a result of me always being in multiple places, always attending auctions, always reviewing properties. It's not just that I happened to go to an auction and boom, I got the best deal of my life. No, the best deals that I've ever received were a matter of showing up time and time again. The next one, make it a numbers game. Let me give you a very simple breakdown. Let's say you go to one auction per year. Maybe they have 20 or 30 properties that are decent that you want to place a bid on. So you research them, you make, a few bids, and let's say you win one property. That's great. Now, compare that to somebody who goes to one auction every single week. That's over 1,000 properties that they will see auctioned off annually. And even if half of them are junk, you'll still end up with hundreds of solid properties to buy. And over time, dozens and dozens of deals. If you take that to the extreme and you go to, say, one auction a week, you now have over 7,000 properties that you see get auctioned off and thousands of properties that will likely be worth buying. And not to mention, you can quite easily do this nowadays through online auctions. So it's not like you have to fly back and forth across the country. The point is this: the more properties that you look at, the more properties that you research, the more properties that you see auctioned off, the more properties you bid on, the more success you will see. This is a volume business in that sense. Put in the reps and you will be rewarded. And oftentimes, in order to do this, you need to expand. Don't stick to just one market and think you're going to make loads and loads of money very, very consistently. You need to be able to expand to multiple market areas. Next one. Develop a strategy that will give you an edge. This is key here. If your strategy is to buy whatever looks decent, whatever you make a few dollars off of, you're going to be playing a game with all of the other investors that are in the same boat as you. And that game is who will pay the most amount of money for the property that produces the lowest return. A lot of money, a lot of work, little return. Don't chase the same cookie cutter deal that everybody else wants. Everybody wants that 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house on a quarter-acre lot in a nice neighborhood that needs carpet and a fresh coat of paint that you can flip and make 5 times your money on. Everybody wants that. If you see it and you can pick it up, great, fantastic. But do not plan on that. Find your edge. I did a full episode on this recently, and maybe your edge is running marketing campaigns that nobody else is doing that will sell these properties very quickly. Maybe it's understanding how to leverage mobile home lots or building and leveraging a strong buyer's list that you can resell the properties to. Maybe it's leveraging your contractor friend to be your partner. Maybe it's building websites that will help you market these. Maybe it's subdividing, combining, or modifying the properties in some way. Maybe it's using other people's money, such as pooled funds or investor funds, and then taking a portion of that spread. Whatever it is, lean into it. Get so good at your strategy that nobody can touch you in that lane. That is how you will truly beat everybody out there, and that is one of the best ways to create a consistent income. The next one is to create on-demand income streams. This is really where things will start to shift. Don't wait for the auction day to try to go out and make a bunch of money. You need to be developing these systems and these processes in the meantime. Here's a few that I've used. I've used OTC List. I will go on an OTC list, I will pick off the properties, send them to my buyer's list, and I will flip them when I'm not attending auctions. You can also do the same thing with tax liens. Go to an OTC tax lien list, flip them to tax lien buyers, collect a little bit of money, and do it over and over and over again. And not to mention, when you're not at an auction, when you're not actively, going to an auction maybe this week or next week or whatever it is, you can still be working on building your buyer's list through your marketing methods. I've got students in the Tax Sale Academy that have very segmented lists. Some people have lists of dilapidated home buyers that will buy a house in any urban area in the country. Some have lists that are just for mobile home buyers. Some have lists of land flippers. Whatever it is, there's all sorts of random buyers that have special interests that you can begin to target. And while you're not at an auction, you need to market to those people. You need to find those people. You need to build your list, because in the end, that list is going to allow your business to grow very, very quickly and to provide the consistency that you're looking for. It's not about luck. It's not about just hoping you buy something and you're able to sell it quickly. It's about control. Having income strategies that you can use on demand will give you the control that you're looking for that will provide that consistent income. The next one is to reinvest until you can pay yourself. And this is one of the biggest mindset shifts. Don't rush to take money out. Reinvest first. If you start with $500 and you turn it into $5,000, amazing. That's awesome. Good for you. Now you're in a position to scale. Reinvest that $5,000 into 2 or 3 deals, then $15,000, then turn it into $30,000. Eventually, you will build enough momentum and capital to invest consistently, not having to worry about the capital that you have to invest, and you will be able to pay yourself a steady salary. But until you reach that point, you need to fight the desire to pull money out. Keep the snowball rolling. Fight the urge to think, well, I did it once, I can do it again. Instead, tell yourself that you'll be limiting your opportunities the moment you start to pull funds. Eventually, I promise you, it will not be an issue. Next one, stick with it. Look, this business can make you more than a doctor's salary. I've seen it time and time again. I've lived it, but it's not an overnight thing. You have to keep learning, keep refining, keep showing up even when things get difficult. Most people quit the moment they hit just a little bit of resistance. They lose one deal, they make a mistake, they get overwhelmed, whatever it is, and they bail. But if you stay consistent, if you stay focused, if you stick with it, this business will pay you for life. So to recap, Treat the tax sale business like a business because it will pay you one if you do. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. Stay active. Don't wait for the deals to come to you. Go out there and be in front of the opportunities when they arise. Make it a numbers game. More properties, more deals, more money, more consistent income. Find your edge and own it. Build income streams that are not tied to an auction schedule. Reinvest until your business can pay you. And above all else, don't quit. Stick with it. If you do all these things, you'll see the consistent income that you desire, like myself have seen since I was 18, and like many of the Tax Sale Academy members have seen as well. This is not about one lucky deal. It's about building a system that pays you over and over and over again for the rest of your life. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Tax Sale Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode or any of the episodes that we have here on the Tax Sale Podcast, please do me a huge favor. Please click that thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review or a positive feedback comment if you're watching on one of the podcasting platforms. It truly helps us out in the algorithm world. And as always, if we can be of any additional help, make sure you check out our website at taxsaleacademy.com. Hey, take care, folks, and make it a successful day. Bye-bye.